Cell phones get blamed for a lot of things with kids today, especially in our schools. Anxiety, depression, sleep issues, food issues, social skills, and of course, attention spans. Research out of the University of California found that in 2004, attention spans lasted 150 seconds, about 2.5 minutes. By 2012, it was half that, at 75 seconds. And in 2023, the average attention span was 47 seconds, according to the research. Now, these stats probably don't shock you. They don't shock me. I'm in the business of keeping your attention, and I can tell you, it's hard work. According to our research, you're probably holding your phone right now, scrolling Facebook or shopping, waiting for me to say something interesting enough to undivide your attention. We love our phones. I don't mean that figuratively. We literally love them. We are emotionally connected to them. And sometimes that relationship can be toxic, especially with our kids. So let's go in depth on phones in our schools. 6 schools in Chatham County will try out pouches this year to lock your phone up during the school day. Kids lock up the phone at the beginning of the day, and then they need a special magnet to unlock it. Other districts are banning them entirely. South Carolina, Virginia, Indiana, Florida, Louisiana, all of them have something on the books. And Wake County, North Carolina's largest school district, could be next. There's a group of parents who proposed the idea at a meeting this summer.
We collectively, as parents, teachers, administrators, and leaders, didn't know better, but now we do.
This would be Wake County's first district-wide policy on phones. Right now, they don't have one. It's up to individual schools or even individual classrooms. How well is it working? Well, Pew Research found that despite most schools having some sort of cell phone policy, 72% of high school teachers say cell phones are a major problem.
And I feel like I'm constantly picking up my phone when I don't need to.
So I talked about this issue with a few different kids from a few different high schools in our area and got pretty much the same story. Do kids have their phones out all day in class?
Pretty much. If you look around, a teacher's talking, kids are on their phones. You're supposed to do an assignment, kids are on their phones. I mean, obviously, cheating, during tests, people are always using their phones pretty much.
There's a lot of cheating?
Yeah, I think that teachers try to stop it, and some teachers make us put our phones away in these little phone holders, but most teachers don't, and so it's really easy to just sneak it out for a minute and look something up if you need to. Okay, so what are the options when you hear stories like that? Well, perhaps teachers should be stricter, do a better job of policing their classrooms, but we've seen how dangerous that can be. In Rocky Mount, a student and a substitute teacher got into a horrible fight after a kid's phone was confiscated for being out during class. It is a disturbing video that was ironically recorded by another student who had their phone out during class. You can find examples of this sort of violence from all over the country. Sure, they're extreme examples, but generally, taking a kid's phone can cause a dramatic reaction. If you've ever punished your kid by taking away their phone, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
When you take it away from them, they feel like you just took my best friend or my attachment, my connection to the world.
That is a psychiatrist at Wake Med who I talked to. She works with kids all the time. And to summarize the general theme of our conversation, when kids live most of their developing years on a screen, that is their world. And the real world gets scarier and scarier to them. They don't know how to be themselves unless it's being filtered through that phone, and the repercussions can be profound.
The kids who are spending more time on screens, their brain development can be slowed, their ability to socialize with children can be impacted because they're used to doing things virtually.
Fear and anxiety actually play a pretty big role in this entire conversation. And it's why, despite the warnings from doctors, cell phone bans often meet resistance from parents. They don't want to be cut off from their kid in an emergency, especially a school shooting. Safety is the #1 concern for parents in Wake County. And I get it. I'm a parent. Shootings are terrifying, but they're also extremely rare. A study from Iowa State found the chance of a kid being involved in a school shooting is 0.07%. In fact, when you look at general well-being, schools are typically the safest place for your kids. But facts and feelings don't always align. Here's how one parent explained it to me.
Data would teach us we probably are overreacting a little bit, but it doesn't change that we're feeling it. And then to be able to think rationally, we've got to be able to address that fear, give some comfort, show some responsiveness. I think it's a smart part of education. So whether that's learning to put it in your book bag when it's time, or learning to use it appropriately when you're in a group, I think that's just table stakes anymore for what it means to have people under your control or students in your school.
Smartphones are undeniably one of the most impactful inventions in human history. I mean, it's up there with like the wheel and penicillin. And banning a tool that powerful does kind of feel like a waste. Then again, it's not the calculator app that's igniting debate.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
Social media has taken the blame recently for the negative effects on kids, everything from lowering their self-esteem to becoming a space for predators to groom victims. For the first time ever, the U.S. Surgeon General is weighing in on this, comparing social media to cigarettes, harmful and addictive, calling for warning labels, treating Instagram like a pack of Marlboros. Now there's a bunch of school districts, too, across the country, suing social media companies for harming students. Just this year, Wake County joined that lawsuit, which does seem kind of funny to me since they're still allowing phones in their schools. It's like suing the cigarette companies for harming kids while letting them smoke in the house. Then again, there does seem to be enough blame to go around, doesn't there? I, for instance, blame myself. My phone is always within reach. It's the first thing I grab in the morning. I use it for entertainment, the news, to check in with my dad, listen to podcasts during housework, balance my finances, play fantasy football, meditate. I use it for work and reservations. It's my credit card, my cookbook, my concert ticket. It's what I hold in front of my kids when Nana wants to FaceTime from West Virginia. It's every photo I've taken in the last decade. I use it all day, every day, and my kids see that. Now, long before the iPhone, we understood a basic principle of parenting, that kids copy our behavior. They imitate our actions. The evidence on this is indisputable. So, sure, we can blame the phones and the kids and the schools and the teachers and the social media companies, the laws and the lawmakers, but perhaps the best place to start would be with a selfie. As always, there's a lot more to discuss on this topic and many others, so please let me know what you think. Send me your ideas and your opinions to dan@WRAL.com. Tell me what is on your mind, and we'll go in depth.
This is such a big topic. We've had a live poll going on this subject all day long. We asked, should students have cell phones in schools? Take a look at this. Here are the results. 74% of you said no. Only 26% said yes. You can always share your voice by scanning that QR code on your screen or head to WRAL.com/yourvoice to cast your vote.